What's up, everyone? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with Tesla, SPY, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's going on with the economic calendar moving forward, to talk about some big factors along with the markets, why the market's actually seeing a bit of a pump right now as the market's very excited for FOMC, and whether or not this pump is going to last. Let me just mention that I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice, and also if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000 and you're guaranteed 15, and the offer ends today in just about 12 hours. Anyways, when it comes to the market right now, SPY is trying to break out right here. We got a nice double bottom like structure, and we're seeing a big push now. The reason why the market's pumping like crazy is because of FOMC and something very important. So I want to remind you all that firstly, at 9:45 a.m., we have the Chicago PMI report coming out, but also besides that, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the interest rate hike decision from the Fed. We all know the Fed is going to keep rates the same. That's not going to be a surprise whatsoever. However, at 2:30 p.m., we have the Fed press conference when Jerome Powell gives his speech. This is also going to cause some high volatility for the markets. Just note that this is what's going on, okay? The market knows that the Fed is going to keep rates the same for July during this meeting for today. However, for September, that's going to be the next time we have FOMC, September 18th. The market thinks there's an 87.7% chance the Fed cuts. The market's pricing in a Fed cuts. The market thinks that Jerome Powell, he's going to come out today and he's going to say that there's going to be a cut coming. That's what the Fed is going to likely do. That's what the market thinks the Fed is going to do. They're saying that the Fed is on track for the first post-pandemic rate cut amidst the growing signs of a cooling economy. The market's confident, it's pricing it in, it's excited. Is this going to happen? I don't know, guys. If Jerome Powell gives his speech today, okay, at 2:30 p.m., and he says there's going to likely be a cut coming in the September meeting, the market is going to once again go bananas. We're going to see a squeeze, okay? However, if Jerome Powell says that there's no confirmation of a cut and they have to continue to monitor the situation, and he does not give the market what it wants to hear, the market could still get a big rug pull. So whether or not the market continues this rally all depends on Jerome Powell. It's all depending on this guy. Are we about to get a rug pull, or are we about to see the market just squeeze? It depends on what this guy says. I'll be listening to him very, very carefully in just a couple of hours. Once again, at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Jerome Powell is going to be giving his speech. It's going to be very important, so get ready, guys. It's going to be key for the markets. Boeing just announced their earnings. We also have Meta announcing earnings after market close. Boeing had a weaker than expected earnings, if anything. We had a loss per share of $2.90 below expectations. Revenue was only $16.87 billion below expectations. And we're going to be looking to see how things end up going for them. Not the best of earnings, at least moving forward. Anyways, that's it for that part. So what do I see for the charts, at least moving forward? SPY is currently approaching the 550 resistance. We'll have to see if this breaks or not. If I were to pull up, let's just say like the daily time frame, as you guys can see, we're attempting to rebound right here. If we continue to break out, we have a big gap to fill all the way down to about 553.8 on the daily. If we could break past 550, I'll be looking for 552.5, then 553, which is where we have this gap fill on the daily time frame for SPY to temporarily push. Do I think it's going to happen forever? I can't promise that, but there's some signs that SPY is trying to push right now. As long as we hold up at 548.5, I do expect at least 550.5, then eventually 552 in that gap fill. So there is potential for SPY to push higher, in my personal opinion. The chart is looking bullish now. So yes, we could push a little bit, at least right now, but just notes that whether or not this push lasts depends on Jerome Powell. Is the guy going to give us a rug pull or not? Don't be fooled by this. This could be a trap and may or may not be. As of right now, we might push higher towards the 550 plus area than 552 if that breaks. But just note that this could be a trap and be careful later on. For Nvda, we're going to be pushing as well towards 112. If that breaks, I'll be looking for 116. If that fails, we'll be coming back down to 108. This looks bullish thanks to AMD's earnings. This favors a push all the way back up. Bitcoin's also trying to rebound a bit. It's going to be looking for a test of about 66,600 just temporarily, okay? Not forever, just a temporary move. For ES, we've broken past the trend line just temporarily, forming a nice double bottom. So this is favoring the upside. We have this gap to fill all the way up here. If ES manages to break 5560 up here, we could be looking for the gap fill all the way up towards 5600. So watch to see if that ends up being the case. SPX is also attempting a small rebound. It's not as strong, so we'll see how things go. I think we're just waiting for this to actually start pushing. Once this comes out, I'll be looking to see if this gap fills. So I'm going to be very, very careful with this. Tesla, however, is a little bit lackluster. We're not really breaking out as hard. We have 225 as resistance. If Tesla breaks this, we could be looking for 227.5. If that breaks, 232 is likely coming. Tesla has to break 232 to turn bullish. If we break that, it's going to start breaking out. If we fail to do so, if we establish a lower high, if we reject between 227 225, this could be forming a head and shoulders. This could be a left shoulder. This could be a head. Tesla might push a bit and end up dropping back down. If we end up losing support at 219, I think this might be tipping all the way down towards 212 for that head and shoulders. So just be careful on Tesla. We have a bearish looking pattern, but it depends on if we get a rejection of 225 to 227, that area. We have to turn and break past 232 to turn bullish. So watch for this on Tesla. We might get a rejection from the head and shoulders. We'll just have to wait and see. For the QQQ, we're testing 468. If that breaks, look for 470 and 472 as resistance levels. So far, we're doing a good job at pushing. If we end up losing support at 466, I'll be looking for a move back down to 462. So make sure you watch those levels carefully. But just know the QQQ is attempting to push and there's more upside potential. Whether or not this continues depends on the Fed. Apple's trying to push and look at resistance at 222. If this breaks, if we manage to soar past this, we could be trying to fill this imbalance towards 223.8. If it rejects here off 222, we'll be coming back down to 220. If that were to break, we have 218, which is where we have this gap to fill. So we look a little bit more bullish, but if we have this big resistance at our 200 EMA, see if we could break 222 or not. It looks like it's going to try to fight for that, so we'll just have to wait and see. Apple has some more bullish potential, however. The IWM, if we end up losing 223, so we have this gap over here all the way down to 222.7. If we lose that, we'll be dipping back down towards 221. If we hold support, we could try to rebound, start pushing for 225 plus. We have a nice looking structure. There's a little bit of an uptrend right now on the IWM. We have a nice cup and handle like structure. So this does favor upside. As long as we hold above 223, I think that 225 is likely coming. We'll see if we hold above this area or not. But this chart has some upside potential. Coinbase is trying to rebound. You're going to be looking for a test of about 234 if we hold above 230. Even if that's the case, just be mindful of the fact that we have a big gap to fill below still. But this is looking like it wants to push temporarily towards 234. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. Let me just go over four more. Amazon, watch 184 as resistance. If that breaks, we're going back up to 185.4. If we failed 184, look at support at 182. So watch those levels. It looks like it wants to push a little bit, so just give it some time. For Meta, we're trying to rebound. We have 467 as resistance. If that breaks, we'll be looking for basically 473. If you reject, you'll be dipping back down towards 463. And we also have this gap down here to fill. This is favoring upside more, so watch to see if that ends up being the case. For Microsoft, we're trying to rebound a little bit. If we do manage to hold above 415, we could be rebounding to 420. It's possible this pushes a little bit more. We'll have to see if that holds. And then Google's also looking a little bit more bullish. It came up to not just fill this imbalance, but test 175. We'll see if that breaks or not. This is going to be a tough resistance. If we do break 175, our next target is going to be all the way up here towards 177. So we'll see how well Google holds up, but it is looking a little bit more bullish. But with that being said, guys, I just want to say the market is looking a little bit more bullish for SPY and the others, just temporarily, just for the time being. Whether or not this continues depends a lot on Jerome Powell, and some tickers like Tesla have head and shoulders like structures that could be developing, so just be very careful in the market. So yes, the market could push a bit, but whether or not this continues is going to depend on the big guy, Jerome Powell. So you want to be very careful. Don't be overly bullish, overly bearish. Give the market some time and see what the Fed ends up giving us in just a few hours. With that being said, thank you for listening. I hope you guys have a great day, and peace out.